Okay, Prof. You can start, Prof.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Zulman. Dr. Zulman boleh nampak PowerPoint tak?
Boleh, boleh.
Boleh ya? Okey. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Selamat sejahtera kepada semua rakan-rakan ahli akademik di Unit 10. So this is part 2 of the topic on how learning works. 7 research-based principles for smart teaching. Last week, yeah? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I presented on the first part. This topic is actually based on the book, same title, How Learning Works, 7 Research-Based Principles for Smart Teaching. So in the
poster tu, Prof. Poster 8 Mac ya.
Oh, 8 Mac ya. Oh yeah, poster still. These are still actually the same slide, so that's why the poster is still have got to change. Okay. So I have shared the 7 principles, but I think probably I will take a few webinar series, probably this one is second one, perhaps another 2 perhaps, yeah, on this one, because I want to elaborate and deliberate for each of the principle with the examples, illustrate with examples, so that we can understand more about each principle. The first principle was on, so I just jump straight. Let's revise. Yeah, this is a book. Okay. So these are the 7 principles. In the first part, we covered the first one, and even then it's not yet complete. I want to cover a little bit more with some examples so that we understand principle number 1 very well, because I think it's very important for us to really understand why it's important to connect the prior knowledge with the current lesson that we want the students to learn. So that connection is very important to take place. So how does students' prior knowledge affect their learning? And then we have another like 5 more. In this session, I hope to cover at least the second principles, maybe partly on the third principles. Okay. And again, this slide give a little bit more description about each principle. And we are still on principle number 1. I hope I can cover more about principle number 1 this morning, then go on to principle number 2. So principle number 1, how does students' prior knowledge affect their learning? Students link new ideas and information to what they already know. So when they step into our class for the first time, they probably bring with them 18 years, 20 years of experience and knowledge. And maybe let's say they have been in the university for 2 semesters. So this is the first time that we meet them in our class. So they bring with them also whatever that they have learned in the courses in the last 2 semesters. So we need to establish this one first. We need to know how much they really know, how much they really understand or have understood, and how this prior knowledge now they can use as a basis for them to learn new things, new concept, new principles, new facts. So when we are able to connect these two together, they will not struggle in their learning. So this can hinder learning in the case of inactive, insufficient, inappropriate, or inaccurate knowledge, but it can also be harnessed to enhance learning. Prior knowledge can have the negative or positive aspect. It can actually hinder learning, especially when they have misconception. So we have talked about what is misconception and the situation where the students can have misconception. So when they bring this misconception, misunderstanding, misinterpretation into the class, and we don't realize that and we don't correct them, so that can pose some risk on their new learning. The prior knowledge also can be positive because they can use this to learn new things because they have got some understanding of the basic principles. So now they just expand that basic principle into the new things that they're going to learn. Basically, in terms of concept, principles, that is the fundamental. So that is a prior knowledge that they can use to help them to facilitate their learning. And of course, in the next one is principle number 2. Then hopefully I can cover a little bit in this session. So we have discussed on principle number 1, and these are the 2 videos. I hope you have watched this video. And we talk about misconception. Okay, we talk about reasons for misconception, and I have deliberated on this. If you miss this, the first one, the first part, please watch the recording so that you can, understand the whole thing about the 7 principles. Yeah. And these are examples of misconception and how do we correct that misconception. So we have to contextualize to the subject that we are teaching. These are some example. We have gone through this. So how do we check prior knowledge? So in the previous and in the first part, so these are the some of the methods that we can use to check prior knowledge. Pre-assessment, KWL chart, anticipation guide, group brainstorming, and exit tickets. In first part, I have demonstrated how you can use Socrative. Maybe some of you have never used Socrative. Maybe you have started using it. Maybe you can share your experience later on. So we can use Socrative app to do pre-assessment. And again, I have demonstrated that. And in this session, we're going to learn more about KWL chart. What is KWL chart? This is actually a graphic organizer that stands for what I know, what I want to know, and what I learn. So what I know, meaning that we want to know how much the students know about, let's say, something related to the topic they are going to learn today. So we get students to tell what they know. So the simple way of doing it, we can pick 1 or 2 students and ask them to share what they know verbally. But sometimes it takes time because the students sometimes will take time to gather their thought and start talking. And we cannot get the whole class to tell us what they know. So we can use, again, technology here. So I'll show the example, and I hope you can participate as well. This is one activity that we want to do together this morning to illustrate how we can use KWL chart to check for prior knowledge. And this actually can be very useful and a good practice to do. Then after they share what they know or what they already know, what I know, what they already know, which is the prior knowledge, then we ask them, okay, now we are going to learn about this topic today. What do you want to know? Given that this is what you know, so what else do you want to know about this topic? Tell me so that I can try to address, or I can try to cover that part as well, if it's relevant with the learning outcome, of course. Then at the end of the class, we can get the students to do the reflection. What I learned. So I have also demonstrated in the first part how I use Twitter to get students to share what they have learned or what are the things they still do not understand or not very clear, need more explanation, need more clarification. So they can put that in 1 or 2 tweets using Twitter. So Dr. Zulman dah cuba lah Twitter. Sebab Dr. Zulman kata itu tak pernah guna Twitter.
Belum lagi bro.
Kena cubalah.
Okay,
cuba,
okay.
So dalam KWL ni, KWL chart, the teacher can ask students to complete the what I know section to assess prior knowledge. So macam mana cara yang mudah untuk kita buat KWL chart ni? Kita gunakan table lah sebenarnya. Dan kita boleh gunakan Google Doc, editable Google Doc for this purpose. So let us try this one now. Dr. Zulman boleh tak share link yang tadi saya share ni dengan participant dalam chat?
Boleh.
Boleh ya? Saya malah nak lompat ke dalam chat. So kalau how many participant we have now?
Now it's 30.
Wah, 30. Tadi saya nampak tak sampai 10. Okay. Okay. Now, I have let me share the screen now on the chart. Yeah, this is how it looks like. Okay.
Yeah, I share already, Prof, the link.
Okay. So just click the link and you will come to this page. So jangan berebut-rebut. Take any row, put your name. So bila dah ada nama tu janganlah kacau that row ya. So ada banyak row tu, ada banyak lagi ruang dalam table tu. So put your name. You might want to, if you don't want to put your real name, you can put any name that you like. But why not just put a real name for the sake of this exercise? So let us pretend that in this class we are going to learn a topic on recycle trash. I purposely choose this topic because it's relevant to Unit 10 jugalah kan, sustainability dan sebagainya. So Puan Malinda ada ya. Okey, apa khabar Puan Malinda? Malinda. Nak panggil Puan Malinda ke, Malinda Ayu ke atau Puan Ayu ya?
Mana pun boleh, Prof.
Mana-mana pun boleh. Okey. Thank you for
Panggil dia Ayu, Prof. Ayu.
Ayu ya. Okey, Puan Ayu.
Boleh.
Boleh. Okey, kalau boleh seramai yang mungkin lah, kalau boleh semualah participate. So I want you to imagine you are going to learn a new topic, recycle trash. So I want to know how much do you know, whatever knowledge that you bring into the class now, how much do you know about recycling trash? Okay, so put your name then in the no column, just type anything that you know. Don't Google lah, yang ni kita just nak buat exercise yang real ya. Anything that you know. What exactly you know, just put in the no column. And then, after that, in the want to know column, what do you think you want, what else do you want to know about recycle trash or recycling trash? And hopefully you can learn in our class today. Okay? Okay, Dr. Mazaitul pun ada. Ini semua the regulars lah ni regulars Ini kalau dia orang ni every webinar ada ni, Dr. Zulman, you kena note down tau. Unit 10 kena bagi award kat dia orang ni.
Saya setuju, Prof.
Ini kena bagi award, kena bagi anugerah ni bagi mereka yang memang sentiasa these are the lifelong learners of Unit 10 lah. Kita kata.
Kita akan fikirkan, Prof.
Bagilah buku, hadiah buku How Learning Works tadi tu ke, kan hadiah yang bermakna lah, ataupun t-shirt Unit 10 ke. Saya selalu buat macam tu dalam kelas tau. Saya buat customized t-shirt lagi untuk student. So itu kita panggil macam apa, instant gratification tau. Bagi student kita happy, wow, buat itu pun, buat ini pun dapat t-shirt macam tu. Kita invest sikit lah. Invest duit sendiri nak buat customized t-shirt. Alah, berapa sen pun.
Ya.
Kira sedekah aja. Okey, kawan-kawan semua, rakan-rakan, sahabat-sahabat Unit 10 semua, saya harap dapat participate dalam aktiviti di sini yang saya sedang menunjukkan bagaimana kita boleh menggunakan teknik KWL chart. K stand for know, W stand for want to know, and L stand for learn, what I learn. Okay. Jadi apa tujuannya? Tujuannya apabila kita nak memulakan satu topik baru dalam kelas kita tak boleh terjun je lah. Kita tak boleh terjun terus mulakan topik tersebut. Kita kena buat scaffolding. Maknanya kita kena menyediakan pelajar tersebut mentally supaya dia orang ready nak menerima ilmu yang baru untuk mempelajari topik yang baru. Ini kita panggil scaffolding, ya. Scaffolding, suatu bantuan sementara. Maknanya sementara dia masih bertatih nak mempelajari satu topik yang baru. Jangan kita terus terjun. Terus kita present kita punya PowerPoint, okay, the definition of rheology is sekian. The definition of this is sekian. So student actually not ready to accept in their brain. So first kita nak tahu dulu, how much do they know about this topic yang baru, katakan recycling trash. So what do they know? So this is a prior knowledge. So we know, oh, okay, from the list here, they still don't know about this. But at the same time, the student also want to learn new things in this topic. So they can tell us, they can share with us what are the new things they want to learn or hope to learn in this new topic, in this class, with us as the lecturer, as guidance for them. So you can see here, we can do this exercise in the class or online. If we do a synchronous session with our students, we can do online using this Google Doc only. Simple. Okay, so we set the Google Doc to editable so that all the students can edit and can participate in real time. We can do this in the class or outside the class online, just like what we are doing now. So, okay. So you can see we get what 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, less than 10 participate. What about others? So we complain about students always very slow to participate, right? Or not all of them will participate. So I hope we can show good example here that when we are the participant, we participate actively in any activity.
Prof,
Yeah.
the active apa ni, Dr. Chua ada, the active peserta.
Kita nak semua partisipan yang ada. Tadi Dr. Zulman kata ada apa 30?
35 je.
35 now. So patut kita ada 35 lah. Row tu kalau saya pun rasa dalam 20 saja tu. Kalau tak cukup boleh add the row lah. Tapi nampaknya banyak lagi tu. Kawan-kawan yang lain macam mana? Tolonglah bekerjasama, participate so that we can feel the kebersamaan itu. We learn together. This is a community of learners. I'm also learning new things together. Okay. So contohlah kita ambil Dr. Zaman kata what he knows now. Converting waste material into new material. So basically this is what you know and what you understand about recycling trash. So we don't want to say that it is correct, that it is incorrect at this point. Okay. Want to know the easy process. So what's the easy process of recycling trash? So hopefully when I see this, okay, I hope I can touch on this point during this class also so that I can answer, I can I can answer what Dr. Zaman has in mind or want to know about what is the easy process to cover. If I cannot cover in this class, so maybe I will say, okay, Dr. Zaman, this is not part of what we want to discuss today, but I can give you specific reading material for you to read on or a video that you can watch on. You can watch so to show what is the easy process to recycle trash. Okay. Or maybe next week, they say, okay, in our class next week, we'll cover this part. So I hope you can wait for next week. But before that, maybe you can read or watch a video so that you can learn something before the next class. That's how we can use KWL chart in a very productive and meaningful way. This looks a very simple thing. And probably a lot of people say, I don't have time to do this. I think we need to change that kind of mindset. Actually, the more we do this kind of activity, the more it will achieve a few things. One, the student will get involved from the very beginning. So the second one, which is very important about prior knowledge, we now know where they are. We now know what they already know. Maybe from here, from the list, when I read the know part, what I know, so maybe I can see, oh, maybe one of this actually is a misconception. This is another way how we can detect misconception in the group of students. Imagine if
Prof?
yes, yeah.
Boleh tanya soalan?
Boleh, anytime.
Like for KWL, kita list nama. If let's say kita guna Padlet and they are as anonymous, is it appropriate ataupun not advisable?
Well, I prefer the students to use their own name so that I can address them directly. So because it's in our class, so and if the students don't put their name, so I cannot address them directly. And sometimes I can actually communicate with them after the class through the WhatsApp group. If I was not able to address some of their, especially want to know, but I don't have time to cover in the class. So after the class, usually I will go through and see, oh, okay, these are the things that I was not able to cover. Then I can reach out to the students and give him or her, let's say, reading material or a video to watch, especially if I don't cover that as part of the learning outcome. Yeah, so I ask them to put their real name, and this activity also can be set up in Padlet as well, atau Ayu. Panggil Dato' Ayu lah ya. Kita boleh gunakan Padlet juga. Kita boleh buat 2 kolom sebab dalam Padlet kita boleh buat format kolom kan. Then the good thing juga kita boleh interact, student lain pun boleh interact juga dalam bahagian chat di bawah setiap satu bahagian tu kan, dalam Padlet. So we can use Padlet for this purpose as well. Okay, but for this one I prefer to use Google Doc.
Okay, terima kasih Prof.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Ayu pernah guna ke?
Saya tak pernah guna secara KWL, cuma saya minta mereka share prior knowledge lah. Tapi saya buat dekat dalam Padlet sebab mereka a bit reluctant bila nama mereka appear. Saya tak tahulah, mungkin mereka rasa takut orang tahu dia tak tahu ke, wallahualam. Cuma bila letak anonymous tu, dia punya respon lagi banyak.
Yeah, well, I think maybe we can kind of explain to them why it's important to use their own name. Satu, for direct interaction, so make them understand why we want them to reveal their own name, and maybe make them also understand that we want to nurture, kita nak memupuk dia orang ni, we want them to have a self-confidence. Why they don't want to put their own name? Because they don't have self-confidence. They have also kind of inferiority complex. They don't trust their own kind of knowledge. They don't trust diri sendiri. Jadi saya rasa kita ambil peluang ini to tell them, don't hide behind the anonymous. Jangan berselindung di sebalik anonymous. Because if you do that now, in the future, in the workplace, in the work environment also, dalam discussion dan sebagainya, you bukan online, katakan face-to-face discussion dalam meeting dengan bos, dengan orang lain, rakan sekerja sebagainya, you tend to not to share your ideas, your own thought, ataupun to ask questions, because you always feel that maybe your question will be kind of mocked by others. Maybe your question is not so-called intelligent enough. So dia tak boleh develop keyakinan diri tau. Sebab kita tak galakkan dia orang develop that self-confidence dengan aktiviti-aktiviti seperti ini. So pada saya lah Dr. Malinda Ayu, Dr. Ayu, saya akan terangkan kepada student mengapa you perlu gunakan nama sendiri. Satu, because I want to have direct interaction with you. Kalau tak boleh dalam kelas ni, selepas kelas nanti. Because I want to help you to address your concern, to give you more information, so that I can continue to engage with you also individually also. Tapi kalau tak tahu nama, jadi macam mana saya nak bantu? Kita bagi dia orang faham betul-betul niat kita, mengapa kita berbuat demikian. Dan satu lagi yang penting pada saya, kita kena bagi tahu pada student kita jangan berlindung dengan apa orang kata anonymous ni. Sebab nanti bila you keluar pun macam tu jugalah. Bila you dah keluar bekerja nanti, you tak ada keyakinan diri. Ya, tak yakin dengan soalan sendiri, tak yakin dengan hujah sendiri, macam tu. Itu peranan kita lah to encourage them, to advise them, to nurture as well. So, okay, nampaknya kita hanya dapat banyak ini saja. Jadi bagi yang participate ni, terima kasih lah. Yang penting you get the idea. There's no right or wrong. So kita tak mahu pick daripada sini, Farhah contohnya. This is not what it's about. You don't actually directly pick from here, but at least you know, okay, there are some of the things that you know, these are what you want to know, and in this class today, this morning, I will, insyaAllah I will cover this item, I will cover this item. Jadi dia dah nampak dah the expectation, what are the kind of things that they're going to learn. Selain daripada kita dah terangkan learning outcome tadi secara langsung dalam slide. So this, ladies and gentlemen, KWL. So, yeah, Dr. Zulman.
Maybe sebab faktor masa tu, we have the time constraint. So this apa nama dia tu yang form tadi ni, KWL chart ni, we give to them to fill in before class.
You can do that. Yes, you can do as part of the flip classroom punya ni. You can ask them before. Yes.
Because dalam kelas tak cukup masa.
Well, kalau kita punya lesson plan kan, kita dah peruntukkan. Okay, we have only like 3 minutes to do this or 2 minutes. So let's do this in 2 minutes. Kemudian you boleh on the screen you can just launch the timer kan. Biasa saya buat macam ni lah. Okay, 3 minutes only. So kita start the activity. So and watch the timer on the screen, okay? Dia orang pun start. So we allocate the time for each activity and be disciplined so that we don't kind of exceed or we run out of time to cover whatever that we plan to do for that particular class. So boleh Dr. Zulman kalau kita betul-betul dah plan nak buat aktiviti ni 5 minit, yang ni 3 minit, yang ni 2 minit, yang ni 10 minit, bergantung kepada complexity of the activity. This is what the lesson plan is about. Kalau kita buat lesson plan kan sepatutnya yalah kita dah tahu dah yang ini I just need to do it in 3 minutes. Yang ini apa ni? Tapi mungkin ada setengahnya kita boleh buat sebelum kelas. Kita minta student buat sebelum kelas. So that bila dia orang datang, kita dah tahu dah apa dia punya prior knowledge, apa dia punya misconception. In fact, you can start the discussion dalam WhatsApp pun before they come to the class. That's the kind of commitment yang kita perlu berikan lah to really give the best learning experience of our students so that the student always feel our presence. So dalam community of inquiry model untuk online learning, kita panggil social presence, teaching presence, cognitive presence. Ada 3 presences tu. So the presence maknanya the student always feel that we are there by their side to help them, to guide them, to facilitate them. Yeah. So okay,
faham.
boleh so dengan 2 ni saja pun kita dah boleh buat banyak dah on checking prior knowledge. Kemudian of course ada yang lain-lain seperti ini, anticipation guide. this is a statement or set of statement related to topic of study. Students are asked to indicate whether they agree or disagree with each statement. This can help the teacher to identify misconception and assess prior knowledge. Agak-agak apa tool yang kita boleh gunakan di sini? Okay, Dr. Chua, agaknya untuk buat aktiviti ni, where students are asked to indicate whether they agree to disagree with each statement ni, what kind of tool that we can use for this purpose?
Mentimeter.
Mentimeter, ya boleh. Lagi? Kalau saya akan gunakan Google Form aja. Google Form. Ataupun saya boleh guna Socrative juga. Ya, kita boleh guna Socrative. Dalam Socrative kita boleh buat true, false, agree, disagree. Yang bagusnya dengan Socrative ni, saya boleh remember dalam Socrative dulu. Okay. Tak apa. Ya, kita boleh gunakan Socrative atau Google Form. Satu lagi adalah untuk check prior knowledge, group brainstorming. Ya. And exit ticket ni, kalau secara biasanya orang gunakan, kalau face to face ya, orang gunakan kertas ataupun gunakan postcard ataupun gunakan post-it note tu, ya, post-it note yang warna kuning tu, then ask the student to write. Then after that, you can collect and read the thing. But using digital, I have demonstrated in the first part. We can use Twitter, a very quick one. And the good thing is, we can get all the students to tweet at least one. Then if we have 50 students, we have 50 tweets. Some will give a summary, some will ask questions, some will share resources as well. So I love tweet for this purpose, to do exit tickets. So whatever it is, these are the different ways of checking prior knowledge, which is the first principle, research-based principle that have been proven, have been shown as helping students to learn. Because when we do this, we get students to get ready. So we make sure the readiness is there, the mental, the mindset is ready for them to learn new things. We don't just campakkan, throw them into the hot water or into the pool and expect them to swim, because we don't know whether they can swim or not, right? Or maybe they can swim, but the skill is not enough for them to swim the whole length of the swimming pool, for example. Yeah. So checking prior knowledge also will enable us to check for misconception. We will know where they are, and now we can strategize. We can make a strategy now. Sometimes you have planned for something for this class, but because the prior knowledge shows that they have a very little knowledge, even the fundamental concept also they don't know. So maybe you want to now lower down the expectation. Kadang-kadang kita punya expectation too high. So when the expectation is too high, and we just go and start the class, and the students only look at you with a blank face, and when you ask question, nobody would answer. So you start to feel disappointed, and then get less motivated, get discouraged, and that is not good. So don't just throw the students into hot water or into the swimming pool, especially for difficult subject, engineering. Engineering, don't expect them to come with ready to roll, ready to rock, so to speak. Okay, so this is a Socrative app, can be used to check prior knowledge, and I have demonstrated this. Okay, so if we do like just now for anticipation guide, we give them a set of 5 questions or 10 questions. Agree, disagree, agree, disagree. Then in the end we get this blue and green and in red color to show us if we have 50 students, we get a lot of red color rather than green color. So that tells us something about what? Oh, still there are a lot of students here probably have very little knowledge about this topic. So we lower down our expectation. We kind of modify or change our strategy now. But without all this, we just go in and you don't care. We don't care. We just start the PowerPoint and I just want to make sure I can cover 20 PowerPoints in my class. I think I'm also guilty of that. I don't say that I'm guilty of this also last time, but of course we improve. So that's KWL chart. K, no. No stands for what the students already know about the topic, their existing or prior knowledge. Then W, want to know. W stands for what the students want to know about the topic. And this actually would invoke or spark curiosity. And then when they write down what they want to know, they set their mind, the expectation. Okay, hopefully my question will be answered in this class. Or at least what I want to know more about recycling trash will be covered in this class or the next class. At least the lecturer now know what I want to know. Okay, and then after they have learned at the end of the class, you want them to put together the ideas or what they have learned. Initially, when they learn, they are actually like a lot of random dots. It's not connected. So learning happens when they can connect the dots. So when they can connect the dots, now they feel they have learned something. The best way to make it really tangible is by writing. So ask them to write something. So this is what under the learn, we want them to write the exit ticket on the piece of paper, what they have learned today in this class. 1 or 2 points. The gist or the essence, antipati, antipati. Or they can tweet. I like to ask my students to tweet because it will be there forever. And then when 50 students tweet one point they have learned, 50 students will we have 50 tweets and it will be different. And every student can learn from each other. That's the beauty of tweets. If you didn't attend the part 1, if you don't really understand what I'm saying now, you can watch part 1 towards the end, where I demonstrated how we can use Twitter to let students to share with the class what they have learned in the class. I think we should do this as one of the so-called best practices at the end of the class. Yeah. Atau kalau tak sempat, you tell them, within 48 hours, don't take too long. I want you to share one tweet. I want you to tweet at least 1 point what you have learned from the class today. Okay, so L stands for what the students have learned, their reflection and summary of the essence of the text. So this is KWL chart. So this is the exercise just now. Yeah. Ada soalan?
Untuk to practice this KWL ni, Prof bagi note pada pelajar dulu ke atau you give the note first or what?
Okay. For my class, Dr. Zulman, student will have 14 or 15 weeks lesson plan for all the lesson for 14 weeks. They have access to it on the first day of the class. So they know that, for example, next week's class, these are the things that we are going to learn, we are going to cover. And I also share the resources, the notes and other resources needed, including the PowerPoint, including the notes, wherever. So they have access to the resources bahan-bahan for the 14 weeks, for the whole semester actually. Jadi maknanya kalau ada kelas minggu depan, I will in the WhatsApp group, I will say okay, next week please refer to lesson sekian-sekian in our lesson plan for the whole semester. For
Brighton lah. Kat sini kita pakai Brighton. Ya. Kita masuk all the...
Tapi dalam Brighton, dalam you punya LMS, kadang-kadang kita hanya reveal week by week kan. Yang lain kita boleh hide kan.
Kita buka semua the whole week.
Okay.
The whole week.
So samalah. Saya tak gunakan Moodle. Saya gunakan, tapi dalam Moodle pun benda yang sama lah kita boleh buat. Dalam platform yang lain boleh buat. Cuma kita alertkan student. Okay, next week, minggu 5, minggu 5, minggu kelima, please refer to week 5. All the 3 classes, 3 lesson, and please read this before come to the class, or please do this Google Form tadi contohnya untuk prior knowledge tadi contohnya kan. Please do this before you come to the class. Dan kita boleh check sebelah macam besok kelas ni, hari ni kita boleh check, nampak baru 20 orang buat, kita ada 50 orang dalam kelas, so nanti akan alertkan dalam WhatsApp. So the student we need to nudge them, we need to push them. That is normal lah, okay? Yeah, so they have the content for the whole semester already. Okay,
faham.
Okay, so ini contohnya, know, want to know, learn. So ini contohnya. Jadi, so before, if you get student to do before the class, then you can see, okay, they know, okay, not bad, kan? Ataupun kita nampak, ini misconception ni, so I must remember to address this part, so that I can correct the misconception. So misconception of one student have this misconception, when we discuss that in the class, then many students would probably realize, oh, aku pun actually faham yang sama juga. Tapi mungkin dia sama ada dia lupa nak masukkan dalam dia punya know what I know. Mungkin dia terlupa, ataupun dia takut nak masukkan sebab dia segan kalau benda tu salah kan. Tapi bila orang lain pula yang share, kemudian kita sebagai lecturer nanti betulkan benda tu, dia pun akan belajar juga benda yang sama. Okay. Kemudian want to know, contoh macam ni. Okay, dan kita tengok what they want to know. Oh, okay, these are the things that I'm going to cover as part of the learning outcome, and what they have learned. So when they put under this column just now, kita ada know dengan want to know kan. Tapi kita boleh juga ada satu kolom. Selepas habis kelas, they can put in here what they have learned. So this is the just now. Remember the exit ticket tadi. They can use this same Google Doc to put in here. So now they have a complete thing, what they know, what they want to know, and now whether what they have learned have answered all the questions, all the things that they want to know. KWL is actually a very good tool that we can use and we can practice that. Okay. Contoh, topik AI, ChatGPT, what we know. Okay. What we want to know, what we learn. Topik electric powered car. Siapa yang mengajar daripada COE, EE electric and apa ni. Ini contoh. Electric powered car. What I know, what I want to know, what I learn. Okay. Green energy. What I know, what I want to know, what I learned. Okay, so we are done with principle number 1 out of 7. Any comment, any thoughts on this? Any additional things that perhaps you want to share from your own practice? How you check your own for your own class? How do you check prior knowledge? Kongsi lah. Boleh share dengan kita before I move on to principle number 2. Silakan. Ya. Salam. Siapa ni?
saya pernah tengok normally some of the classes they have like journal of reflection. So is that similar to what you have been showing just now? Kita tulis journal, journal of writing, reflection writing, journal, something like that.
Yeah, there is more on orang kata apa, post class lah, maknanya after the class.
After the class.
After the class, actually the concept sama macam exit ticket tadi. Exit ticket maknanya sebelum dia keluar, sebelum dia tinggalkan kelas, kita nak dia bagi apa ni, a summary of what they have learned, what they have understood. Ataupun sometimes kita boleh gunakan juga ruang itu untuk dia bagi tanya soalan. Ataupun dia kata, okay, I'm still not very clear on the concept of something. I hope you can explain it further in the next class. Contohnya, kita bagi ruang itu, kita terangkan kepada pelajar. You can use this so-called exit ticket ini untuk tujuan-tujuan ini.
Then tadi before the class. The KWL.
Yeah, that one kita boleh buat KWL tadi yang before. Kalau yang before ni, yang bahagian ni, what I know, what I want to know, we can get them to do before the class.
Okay.
What I learn, this one after the class, because we want them to do the reflection tadi tu. So this reflection can be done in this form, or we can get also ask them to do so-called reflection journal, gunakan Padlet mungkin, and that's another way of doing it. So it's up to us. But I prefer to have one place, common place, where students can share their reflection after the class, contohnya, in one place. So that's why I prefer to use Twitter. Because Twitter, again, for those who have not attended my previous, the part 1, so I just show you very quickly again. Yeah. So I create a hashtag. Let's say the hashtag for my class IMK221. Those who have Twitter can actually see this. You just search the hashtag IMK221, and then this yeah. So this is actually what my students tweet as a summary of the class. And you can see here, very rich information in one place, where students can read also the tweets or the summary from other students. Some of them really give a serious attention to this activity. They find nice pictures, and they nampak hashtag IMK221 kat bawah tu. Dia mesti ada hashtag tu. Kalau tak ada hashtag, nanti bila search dia kita tak jumpa lah. So make sure the students put the hashtag. Nampak dia tambah satu lagi hashtag, because this particular one is about the topic on enzyme. So a student can search 2 hashtags at the same time, so that the search result will be more specific. IMK221 and enzyme. Then you get only tweets related to the course IMK221, to the topic enzyme. That's how we can use Twitter. Very powerful tool that is underutilized by educators to do this kind of reflection for the student. Reflection is very powerful technique for not only for students, for us also reflect. So they can kind of put their abstract thing in their mind into writing. So articulation of what is in the brain, in the mind, into something in a written form. Very important skill, critical skill in the 21st century, moving forward, in 4th Industrial Revolution and so on. Ya, ada lagi? Siapa nak share ataupun soalan sebelum kita move on to principle number 2? Dr. Betty, anything you want to add from your own practice, the way you do the prior knowledge?
No, not yet.
You are doing something about, I mean, I'm sure you check also what the students know, what students understand, right, before you start a new topic.
Usually I'll I don't really go and check because I know they have already know they
You assume.
what they have learned. But of course, if they have forgotten what they have learned, then
Yeah.
that's another story.
Yeah, but that's or maybe Dr. Betty, maybe that's only assumption, you know, assumption. So we take for granted that they know.
Yeah, but sometimes we are sort of like
Not enough time.
yes. Yes.
But you can do that, not necessarily in the class. You can do before. So just give them the Google Doc for them to do it, and it just take them less than.
Actually,
Yeah.
Prof. Karim, you just call me Betty.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
usually because in Brighton we have a sort of like an item we can call as lesson. So I have created the lessons. Normally what I do is I ask them to go through the lesson first before come to class. At least that will help them to understand, perhaps can help them to understand the topic when I teach during the class. But usually only minority will do that.
Yeah. But the thing about principle number one, how students learn and how learning works. Checking the prior knowledge of our student is about us try to understand how much do they know.
Yeah.
So we want to try to connect what they already know with the new things they're going to learn. So there are two dots here. One dot is the things that they have learned, they know. And another dot is here, is the new thing they're going to learn. And
but let's say,
yeah,
Prof, because my class is about 90 students. During lecture, 90 students. So of course there are some students they are ready to learn new knowledge, but some of them they have forgotten what they have learned before. So in that case, what is your suggestion for me to get them?
Yeah. So just now, the Google Doc is for example, you can ask the students to do prior to the class, before they come to the class. So even if you have 200 students, you will get 200. Then if you have 200 students, then your next question would be, I don't have time to go through the 200 inputs in the Google Doc, right? Yeah, 200 or even 100. There'll be too many. Well, we just browse through and glance through very quickly. The thing is, maybe you don't have time to really read everything, and you're probably not able to check for misconception and so on. But when you get students to do that kind of activity, it will get them into the so-called into the mode of
learning.
Mode of getting them ready.
Oh, okay.
Not only on your part, but on the students' part. There are both actually, kan? On our part, we can, kalau kita rajin, kita boleh tengok semua, okay, ada misconception ke, apa yang what they know already. Tapi we don't have time, at least, to get the students into the mode of getting ready for the class.
Okay.
Another way of putting this, kita panggil in education, they use also the term like priming the student. Priming the student, macam kita priming the pump. Orang engineering tahulah ni, priming the pump. Kita nak get the pump. Before the pump can pump, we need to prime the pump, get the pump ready. That's what we call priming the pump. Contoh satu lagi, kalau kita beli katakan satu botol lotion, skin lotion katakan kan. So when you press the first time, dia keluar tak lotion tu, Betty? Tak keluar kan? You can press a few times. That action of pressing a few times before the lotion start to come out is priming the pump. Itu pump lah kira tu, yang kita tekan tu, kita pump lah. It's priming the pump. Only then the lotion can flow. The same metaphor kita boleh gunakan untuk student kita. So priming their head, priming their mind before they are ready to learn something new.
So Prof, your meaning is for every class I need to, let's say, take about 5 minutes to do this kind of, to prepare them for the learning mode.
Ideally.
Okay.
Not every class, every few classes, because once they go through your class, let's say minggu kelima, they have learned the stuff for the last 4 weeks. So don't you want to know that what they have learned in the last 4 weeks, that become their prior knowledge now for your week 6. Whatever they have learned in the 5 weeks will become the prior knowledge now for week 6. So you probably want to do this exercise again, maybe not every class, but every 4 or 5 classes, ideally lah. Okay. I think I do a few times, maybe, I don't know, 3-4 times or so in a semester. So this good practice actually. The more we do it, it become kind of something that you will do it, become a second nature for us. So itulah Dr. Betty, I think not only so we have the tools we can use. So it will facilitate, will make things faster, easier for us and for the student as well. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay,
so
thank you, Prof.
Okay, yeah. So I really encourage all of you to share, after I presented something, because otherwise it's very one way. And it's good to learn from each other. I learn from everyone also. I learn, okay, tak pernah terfikir pula, contohnya kan. Oh, you buat macam itu ya. Jadi kita pun, we learn something new. Because it's sharing, basically the session that we are having now is a sharing session. It's not a teaching session. I'm not teaching you because I'm not from education background. Remember, I'm from food technology background. I'm sharing what I've learned from the book. So I cannot claim myself expert. No, I'm not. I'm not an expert by any measure on education. I'm just sharing what I've learned from the book because I've read the books many times. I'm so in love with that book. And I practice many of it in my class. So I walk the talk.
What book, Doctor? What book, Prof?
Okay. Okay, tak apa. Saya tunjukkan buku ni. Yang ni, siapa tadi tanya? Dr. Ashikin ya? Apa ni? Buku ni. Dr.
So
Ashikin,
dalam tu ada tools semua, penggunaan tools.
Penggunaan tool yang ni tak ada, dia tak cerita pasal tools. Sebab apa yang saya share dalam webinar ni dan yang lepas tu, itulah saya kalau boleh lah ya, biarlah ramai dapat datang supaya macam mana nak buat prior knowledge tadi? Gunakan Socrative, gunakan Google Doc, gunakan Google Form, gunakan itu, gunakan ini. Itu baru datang toolsnya.
So tools ni Prof discover sendiri saya ada account Twitter tapi underutilized.
Memanglah saya ni explorer, Dr. Ashkin. So saya explore. Saya memang explorer, sampai sekarang pun saya explore macam-macam. Kemudian saya share. Kemudian saya guna dulu. Cuma sekarang ni saya tak ada peluang lah gunakan dalam kelas sebab saya dah tak mengajar lagi kan. Okay, so itulah. Dr. Shikin tak datang yang part 1 ke?
Part 1 yang mana? Saya datang tapi tak ingat yang mana satu.
2 minggu lepas. How Learning Works juga, cuma yang tu part 1.
Datang kot tapi on and off sebab ada meeting.
Okay. Tak apa. Nanti boleh tengok balik rakaman tu lah ya. Okay. So ada 7 research based principle. Maknanya tak perlulah kita nak argue lagi sebab telah dibuktikan bukan satu research, bukan 2 research. Banyak research telah menunjukkan bahawa prinsipal nombor 1 dan 7 prinsipal dalam buku ini telah terbukti dengan research bahawa it work. So kita gunakan saja. Kita adopt dan adapt ya. Okay, prinsipal number 2. Kalau tak ada lagi soalan untuk prinsipal number 1, saya akan teruskan. Boleh ya? Adakah lagi soalan-soalan sebelum saya teruskan? Kita tak perlu terburu-buru ya.
Bro. Okay. Teruskan bro.
Saya ada sampai Disember di unit 10 ni, jadi ada masa lah. Tak payah nak cepat-cepat sangat. Boleh ya? Okey. Tak ada lagi. Okey, saya akan teruskan. Mungkin kita ambil masa dulu, Dr. Zulman, 5 minit. Take a break for 5 minutes kot.
Betul.
Boleh ya?
Sebab dah 1 jam kan.
Ya, kita come back, kita ada 1 jam, lebih kurang 1 jam lagi. So kita come back, let's say we take sampai 10:40 macam tu lah, boleh?
Okey.
4 minit. Boleh? Okey, insyaAllah.
Okey, Prof. 10.40 dah.
40. Okey. Kita teruskan dengan prinsip yang kedua ya. Principle number 2 from the book. How does the way students organize knowledge affect their learning? So the 2 points here. How students organize knowledge influences how they learn and apply what they know. Students learn better when provided with a structure for organizing information. Causal relationships are especially effective organizing principle. For example, using a concept map. Okay. In general, we assume that the students, when they come to our class or when they come to the university, we assume, or we take for granted, that they know how to learn. Kan? We don't have time actually to really know our students, get to know our students, talk to our students, and observe how they learn. We just assume that they know how to learn already because they have gone through 12 years plus in the school. But actually, even in the school, when is the time that the teachers teach our students how to learn, how to study, how to take notes, how to analyze information, how to rephrase? Well, they learn a little bit here and there, but there's no really a systematic way of teaching students how to learn. And in the context of teaching the students how to organize information, how to connect the dots. So this is something in principle number 2. How does the way students organize knowledge affect their learning? Because to make learning really meaningful, to make learning that sticks, meaning that when they learn something, it sticks in their mind, they really internalize what they have learned. They really able to use the knowledge. So that what make learning meaningful and useful, meaning that sticks, learning that sticks even after many years they still remember. Because learning by its nature is messy. So let imagine this is our student, and we want to take them in the course. At the end of this course, you should be able to 1, 2, 3. Then they will come here. They will reach this point where the learning outcomes have been achieved, right? But the path from here to here is not a simple linear path. It's like this. It could be like a web. It can be very non-linear, winding road. So our role is to actually facilitate their learning so that although the learning path is convoluted and complex, so we want to guide them. We want to make learning more systematic. Although learning is messy, but now we want to make it more systematic. We want to teach them how to organize the information and how to turn that into knowledge. So why teach like this linearly when learning is actually very messy, very non-linear in nature? Okay, so if we appreciate this, we understand and appreciate this, that learning is not simple. When we teach the students, let's say we teach the student a certain subject, and we have a PhD on that subject. Of course, we think that this is very easy because we have got the mastery of the subject matter. Otherwise, we cannot teach, right? If you teach a subject, then you don't have that expertise and you don't have that mastery, you'll be in trouble. You don't have the confidence to teach. Okay, so we are an expert in the subject. We are subject matter expert, and the student is a novice learner. Then sometimes we forget that. We forget that when we were students, we was also struggling. But we tend to forget that moment when we were struggling. Now we are an expert. So we said, okay, this is easy stuff for you. There's nothing difficult about this. And we expect students will be able to learn easily. And we forget about the concept of scaffolding. We forget to check for the prior knowledge. We just basically go through the whole motion during the semester, class after class, PowerPoint after PowerPoint, and that's it. If we can finish in week 12, we will be very happy because another 2 weeks to go, oh, I've done my teaching already. Because we just go through and not bother to check the understanding, not bother to check misconception, things like that. So we don't want to do this, yeah. We don't want to be part of that. So learning is about connecting the dots. So initially, in the student's mind, when they learn new topic, everything is very abstract, vague, not clear. So it's just like random dots moving around, just like Brownian motion, right? So our job now is to help the students to connect the dots. Learning happens when they are able to connect the dots. So when they connect the dots like this, but if they are not able to connect the dots like this, from here, this is still unconnected, this still unconnected, so they don't get the whole picture. They don't get that this is a fish. If they have connected everything, they get a clear picture. That's learning outcome, basically. Oh, okay, it's a fish. That's an aha moment. But then, for some reason, they are not able to connect the dot. Then is our failure in some parts, not able to help them to connect the dot, not able to really learn and understand. So in this case, this scenario, the learning outcome is not fully achieved. So it's always a challenge for us to make learning meaningful. To make meaningful, when the students get the aha moment, oh, now it makes perfect sense to me. That's when they connected all the dots. Aha, okay, that makes sense to me. Right? I think we have experienced that as a learner. So that process will happen when the students during the learning process, they are able to make sense of the information. They are able to put them together and become real knowledge for them. They are able to organize that information now into something meaningful. That is principle number 2. So there are ways how we can help them to organize knowledge. We can teach them how to use the concept map, the mind map, and many other ways of doing it using the tools. So it makes sense to us, to you as a lecturer, but not necessarily to the student, because we as a subject matter expert, we can see the big picture. We see the forest for the tree, whereas the students is still looking at the lower level. They don't see the whole picture. They don't get the drone view or the bird's eye view. Okay, so this from the book. I just take the picture here, figure 2.1 here, page 45, if you have the book. Differences in how experts and novices organize knowledge. Expert knowledge networks have more meaningful connection and deeper organizing principle. We, as a subject matter expert, the neurons in our brain the synapses already connected. So it's here. We have a high level understanding of the subject. High level. That's a keyword. Because we have made the connections. All the dots already connected, and not only connected. The bond between the dots, the connection between the dots is very strong. The synapses, the connection between the synapses in the neuron is very strong. So that's why we are an expert. But on the other hand, the students, students learn better when provided with a structure for organizing information. They need to be able to put the information into a structure. This is where the organization comes in. So, for example, mind map. So when we teach them to use mind map or encourage them to summarize the topic at the end of the topic, one of the activities that I make compulsory for the student at the end of each topic, they must prepare a mind map. So that actually help them. We teach them now to organize all the information into more structured manner, so that they can see, oh, okay, this is the relationship, this is a connection, and this one come out from here, this one is under subheading here, so they can see now the bigger picture. They can see the whole forest. So causal relationships are especially effective organizing principle, meaning that from here it goes to here, this one is here, that kind of connection. Another way of other ways of doing kind of teaching students how to structure the information, organize the information by working on work example, by giving them analogies, contrasting cases help students to organize their knowledge meaningfully. All these are explained very detailed in the book, and the authors in the book have illustrated the whole concept of what principle number 2 just now, organization of knowledge, in this form. Okay, so initially the student from the KWL chart, we know that they know something already. They have the baseline information or knowledge, but this information could be like scattered or very superficial, very shallow, sparse, superficial knowledge structures. So now, when they want to learn new thing related to the topic, our role now is to design the lesson in such a way that they are going to be able to expand the knowledge and then connect them together. And then not only connect them together, make it strong. The connection, make it strong. So novice student, this is our student, novice, fresh. We are also novice student in many cases when we learn new topics. So we are novice because we don't know much about that topic, right? So we are also student all the time. And we are also novice student in some areas, expert student or expert subject matter expert in other topics or other discipline or other areas. So novice student, when they want to learn something new, they need, so they have only very superficial knowledge. So they need to develop what? They need to develop rich, meaningful knowledge structures. So our role is here, expert, subject matter expert or instructors. We design our lesson using all these different strategies, activities, learning activities, tools, application, to help them to create that, to have that rich, meaningful knowledge structure. And that will support them to learn, to achieve the learning outcome, and achieve certain performance. That's basically principle number 2. Okay. In other principle, actually, we will come back to this one because they are related to each other as well. Yeah. Any questions or things to clarify?
Ya, Prof, boleh saya tanya?
Ya, boleh. Silakan, Dr.
Bila kita try to help them to connect the dot, and at the end of the class, dia boleh develop the mind map, but suddenly when it comes to the formative activity, formative assessment, we give like a simple question at the end untuk mereka jawab, nak tengok pemahaman mereka kan. Then we realize that the dots is wrongly connected.
Itu lagi.
Tapi masa dah habis.
Yeah. So that's a good observation. That can happen, and it happen all the time. So meaning what? Very interesting point. They connect the dot, but the dot is wrongly connected.
What should I do?
Yeah. So instead of katakan from here to here, dia connect to here.
Dia tak jadi dolphin, dia jadi
Dia
buaya ke contohnya.
patut ada sirip. Sebab dia dah connect ke sini, so ikan ni jadi ikan yang macam buntut pula kat sini. Macam yeah, very good point. So meaning that that's good that when you detect, you are able to detect that. So meaning that okay, the class dah habis, tak apa. Then either you can continue the communication in the LMS, kan? Apa namanya? Your LMS tu, ataupun Brighton tu, ataupun you can use the WhatsApp. Another way, the quick way, my favorite way of doing it is to use a short video using Loom. Di sini biasa orang gunakan Loom kan?
Tak, yang kami subscribe ada Penopto. That is from university punya lah.
Penopto pun boleh, tapi I prefer, kami pun ada Penopto di USM, pun boleh juga. Tapi for a quick one, I gunakan Loom. So, okay, I demo sekarang ya. I demo sekarang. So that you don't just guessing what I'm trying to say. So, nanti I cuba alihkan. Alamak. Can you all see my screen? Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you see on my browser now, I have this icon, this Loom. This actually to do a quick screen recording. So okay. So normally bila ada macam itu, alamak nak kena sign in pula. I don't know whether I still remember. Hopefully. Let me see. Apa dia log out? Okay. Okay. So when I find that student in this case has connected the dot wrongly, so maknanya itu misconception lah. Dia misinterpret, dia misunderstood our explanation. So bila kita buat formative assessment, gunakan quiz ke whatever, kita nampak actually they still have not understood fully kan. So a quick way of doing this, we give it back to the students. So that is principle number 6 and number 7 dalam buku tu. So the way I do it, my way lah again. I do a quick video. Okay, I do a quick video. Just okay, record a video, continue. Okay, then katalah okay, I pergi buka satu slide macam ni contohnya. Okay, folks, I just want to share something from our previous class, from our yesterday's class or this morning class. I find that some of you still are not very clear on the concept of something. So now, I will start to explain. Blah 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 blah. Like 1 minute or 2 minutes. Then I just stop Loom. Belum start recording lagi. Okay, start recording. Confirm what to share. Okay, share entire screen. Click share. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, so okay guys, I just want to make a quick video here to explain from our class this morning. I find that from the exercise, some of you are still not very clear about the concept of sustainability. So then I start to explain. Okay, I hope this clarify some of the points about the concept. If you still have any questions, feel free to post in the WhatsApp or on our Brighton, and I will try to address that. All right, so see you in the next class this Friday. Bye. Okay, stop sharing. So I checked the video. So okay guys, I just want to make a quick video here to explain from our class this morning. I find that then I just get a link and share in WhatsApp. So Puan Malinda.
Yeah.
Puan Mayu, ya. Itu cara saya lah.
Wow.
Cepat, one click aja. One click aja.
Betul.
Then tak payah tunggu next class. Tak payah nak type panjang-panjang dalam WhatsApp. Ataupun paling mudah dalam WhatsApp tu kita guna audio speaker. Apa ni kita boleh just talk kan? Okay, ni kelas tadi. This morning I find that some of you still have some misconception bla 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 bla. Tapi tak boleh tunjuk gambar lah. Tak boleh tunjuk PowerPoint. Macam ni kita boleh tunjuk PowerPoint, kita boleh tunjuk website, kita boleh tunjuk kita notes whatever. Very quick. That's how. And the good thing is I don't only correct the misconception of that one or two students. I make it known for everyone so that everyone also learn and reinforce their learning. Reinforce, itu dia keywordnya. Reinforce learning. You can actually do this as a practice. After every class, you can do like a 3 minutes video. Gunakan Loom tadi, tak payah nak canggih-canggih. Okay, gunakan Loom. Okay, I just want to do a summary or reflection of what we have learned this morning. Just to make sure, just to reinforce your learning, just to make sure you understand. So these are the 5 main points from our class this morning. That's it. So don't forget to post also your summary on Twitter. Okay, I look forward to read your summary. Bye. Kurang begitu. Very simple, very quick. Doesn't take so much time. It just, we must include that as part of our workflow. Become routine. Become a routine and become a second nature to us. Second nature maksudnya macam kita makan lah. Second nature kan. Tak payah nak fikir pasal makan. Driving. Masuk je. Press the start button and we drive. We don't really think about the steps. Itu dia. Ya. Okay. Okay kan Puan Ayu Sekejap Puan Malinda, sekejap Puan Ayu saya panggil.
Mana-mana boleh Prof. Terima kasih Prof.
Mana-mana boleh asalkan orang yang sama. Yang lain macam mana? Ada lagi? Tak ada Okey, tak ada saya boleh sambung. So kita ada lebih kurang setengah jam lagi. Program kita ni 2 jam lah lebih kurang ya. So bagus jugalah kita dapat cover principle number 3. Principle number 3 ni sebenarnya I can expand to another 2 hours talk ya. Because it's very big. It's big. It's quite big. And it's important. Perhaps, well, I can say among the most important thing that we as lecturers, as academic need to understand is motivation. What factors motivate students to learn? What's your motivation to join our session this morning? Although you have so many things on your plate, but you spend 2 hours to join this session. So you must have that motivation, intrinsic motivation, because you don't get CPD point yet, but it's coming soon, inshallah, meaning that every session that you attend, you will get points, and this point will be counted towards something, yeah? But now there's no point. So, there's no CPD point or no immediate reward from attending this guy's punya webinar, yeah? Okay, but for students, what motivates them to learn? They come to our class, maybe not all of them because of their intrinsic motivation, because they want to come to class, but because of the attendance. So they have to come. But we don't want them to say, we have to come or I have to come. We want them to say in their mind, I want to come, I can't wait to attend Puan Ayu's class tomorrow. Can't wait. Tak sabar nak tunggu the next class. Dr. Zolman punya kelas. Betty punya kelas. Tak sabarlah. Betty punya kelas 2 minggu lagi lah. Pasal lah lambat sangat. Tak sabar nak jumpa Betty. Tak sabar nak pergi kelas Betty. Memang seronok kelas Betty. That kind of anticipation. Tak sabar tau. Macam tu. Mengapa ya? Saya remember masa saya di sekolah, antara favorite kelas saya, favorite subjek saya adalah kimia, chemistry. Student lain bila kelas kimia semua tak memandang, apa orang kata, tak menunggu-nunggu kelas kimia. Sebab guru kimia tu garang. But chemistry happened to be one of my favorite subject. And I was basically top of the class lah untuk chemistry punya ni, masa form 4, form 5. So, I become the favorite student lah for the teachers kan. So, of course lah, dah lah jadi favorite student, kemudian favorite subject. So, tak sabarlah nak tunggu guru tu datang. Sebab walaupun dia garang, tapi favorite student dia suka lah kan. Macam tu lah. So, that motivation that making me looking forward for the class. Imagine lah kalau you have a student of 100 students in your class, every one of them looking forward for your class. Wah, semua orang rasa nak macam tu kan. But you must put effort there. You must understand first what motivates students to learn. So, this is what the book says. Kita baca dulu. Students who pursue learning goals which emphasize the intrinsic or instrumental value of material are generally the most motivated and have the best learning outcomes. This kind of student yang kita panggil self-directed learners ataupun self-regulated learners. Student yang ada dia appreciate about the value of the course. Dia tahu it's good for me to learn this course. It is very relevant to my degree, relevant to my life. Not only relevant to get a degree, but now for the first time, I was always curious how the car works. But now I'm doing mechanical engineering. Now I'm taking a course on engine. Contoh lah ya, how the engine works. So now the motivation is there because for a long time I have this curiosity how the engine really work. Itu dia. Itu maksud dia intrinsic or instrumental value of material. They appreciate the course, they appreciate the subject, they appreciate that particular topic. Kalau yang itu dah ada, senang lah. Because the student come with an open heart, with the mind is open, waiting to learn, eager to learn something new. Tengok-tengok pergi lecture boring. Boring nak. Itulah perkataan yang kasar dia. Boring gila. Habis daripada motivation dia jadi demotivated. You want to be a lecturer yang demotivate the student and make them lose that motivation kan. So kita kena faham. So students may also be guided by performance goals related to their self-image and reputation. Contoh macam tadilah saya bagi contoh, saya top student dalam chemistry. So semua orang kata saya ni chemistry wizard kat sekolah tu. Cikgu pun dah jadikan you favorite student. Jadi dah ada performance goal. I cannot do less. I cannot get less than an A. So you set that performance already very high. The standard for yourself. The student dah set. I cannot get less than an A. I remember my Chinese friend, top student in AdMaths. AdMaths always around like B minus macam itulah AdMaths ya. Jaranglah dapat A. Tapi my friend ni A all the way. Satu masa tu entah macam mana, he got I think still A, but the lower end of A. Kalau itu dah a cause of celebration tu, a cause for celebration. But he was not happy. I remember he was like screaming, kicking the door, kicking the wall, tendang dinding. I kata apa pasal? So dia tak puas hati, tak dapat 100 or 99 or 98 or something like that. Oh my God. Because that student, highly motivated, always said the standard is 100 or 95, whatever. So the students yang macam ini, we have this kind of student always set the standard for themselves. These are the kind of self-directed or self-regulated learners. They set the standard high for themselves. So they cannot do anything less or achieve anything less. So ini yang dipanggil guided by performance goal. This may themselves be performance approach or performance avoidant. The former seems to entail a cognitive framework more conducive to learning. Oh, ini kalau kita baca 3 kali ni baru faham ya. Maksudnya, those yang macam example yang that I bagi tadi just now, there is performance driven. Performance driven. Dia drive, he or she is driven by the performance, by the goals, by the standard, by the high standard. But it could also performance avoidance, and this could be negative effect. Yeah, performance avoidance maksudnya they always basically not setting the standard high enough because tak ada keyakinan diri tadi contoh, and after a few tries still not able to make the standard, so they kind of give up. Kalau kita tak bantu dia akan always lower down the standard supaya dia dapat exceed that standard yang telah direndahkan tadi. Okay, and there's some effects of that. So you can read more in the book, but meaning that these students, there are two kinds, yeah? More highly motivated because of driven by the standard, high standard, or it could be demotivated because consistently the student did not or fail to achieve the target. Then they keep lowering the standard. Okay lah, dapat C pun tak apalah. Dapat D pun okay dah. Dulu selalu fail. That kind of mindset tau. Ya. Yeah? Kita selalu dengar kan? Kita pun kadang-kadang macam tu. Alah, cukup lah. Kita redha lah. Kita redha. Itu konsep redha yang salah kan? Kita keep lowering our standard and lessening the effort. So to be motivated, a student should expect both their own ability to succeed and for success to bring about a desired outcome. Apa maksudnya di sini? To be motivated, a student should expect both their own ability to succeed and for success to bring about a desired outcome. Can anyone share what do you understand by this statement from the book? Takkanlah saya seorang yang cakap kan? Kan ini sharing kan? Ini not teaching session ni. So, anyone? Prof Hanem ada lah kat sini. Dia mengintai kat sini ni. Dia kat sebelah.
Ada, Prof. Sebelah je. Dah hilang dah. Dah hilang dah, Prof. Ayat tu baru nak baca tadi.
Okay. Come back. Jadi mesti Prof Hanem senangnya ni. Your understanding lah, your interpretation of this. To be motivated, the student should expect both their own ability to succeed and for success to bring about a desired outcome. Your thoughts on your take on this.
Tak tahulah betul ke tak kan?
Tak apa.
Maknanya student tu pun kalau dia belajar dalam kelas kita, ini mungkinlah my thoughts lah. In my class I selalu cakap topik ni sebenarnya senang. Sebab student selalu cakap my class memang antara kelas yang susah lah dalam mechanical engineering, mechanical vibration kan, because banyak sangat equation. So I kena buatkan dia nampak macam senang supaya dia nampak dia boleh solve the problem. Kalau dia tak nampak, dia tak ada ability untuk faham benda tu, untuk dia boleh dapat A kelas tu, dia akan rasa susah sepanjang semester tu. Itulah pandangan saya lah. So I always tell them, oh, this is easy. You just step 1, 2, 3. Macam tu. Bagi dia orang steps untuk solve the problem. So I nak cuba bagi dia orang faham dan bagi dia orang nampak benda tu sangat senang dan dia boleh solve. Itu je lah. Supaya, putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah,
something like that.
So we empathize with them, and you told them this is actually easy. So the reason why you said that because you want the students to feel the confidence right? To feel the confidence, to have the confidence that they can learn this because it's easy. So I will help you to learn together. If you put your mind, your heart, you will learn this in the end. You should be able to understand the concept. You should be able to solve the problem. You should be able to use the equation, whatever kan. So yeah, basically that's more or less what it means, because we want the students to trust their own ability. Our students ni, novice student, macam kita juga apabila kita belajar satu topik yang baru kan, kita kurang keyakinan. Kalau kita nak explain ke orang lain, kita rasa no, I belum faham lagi betul-betul ni kan, apa ni kita always have that kind of hesitation and not very confident until we are able to explain it again and again, and our understanding increase every time. Then when we teach the course, we teach the concept or teach the topic, it become easy for us now because we have gone through that learning process, understanding and so on. So we have that confidence. Kalau kita tak ada keyakinan, we don't trust our ability to teach that particular course, bila ini yang selalu jadi pada lecturer baru. Kan dia rasa menggeletar masuk dalam kelas sebab dia tak ada confidence. Sebab dia sendiri tak ada keyakinan bahawa dia telah menguasai that particular topic ataupun subject kan. So the same thing with our students. I think that's why part of this motivation issue atau topik ni, understanding students' motivation is also to understand ourselves in terms of, do we have enough empathy to put ourselves in the student situation when we recall our time when we were students. All of us, we were once a student. We were once struggling also to learn that particular concept. But now, after we have become experienced learner and now a lecturer teaching that particular topic, we must bring down our level to the students' level, putting ourselves in their shoes, so that now we get the students now to be ready to learn new things. So Prof Hanim kata, bagi tahu cakap dengan student dia, oh ini senang sebenarnya ya. Saya pun selalu buat macam tu dulu. Tapi Prof, I learned later on that it's not a good practice actually when we introduce new topic to tell the student this is easy. This one I learned from one of the book and also seminars that I attended. Because remember, when we come to the class, we are the subject matter expert. So we have sometimes what we call expert blind spot. Macam kita bawa kereta juga, kita ada blind spot. Kemudian kadang-kadang kita bawa kereta, kita dah memandu kereta 30 tahun, suddenly depan kita ada kereta lesen L. Alah, lambatnya dia ni, mat ni. Empathy dah kurang. Sedangkan kita dulu masa ambil lesen L, lagi teruk daripada orang tu. Itu yang dipanggil expert blind spot. So according to the books and also the seminar that I attended, psychologically, we are telling the students now, everyone now should be able to learn this topic easily. But in doing that, we are assuming that every student learn at the same rate, at the same pace, they have the same ability, they come to the class with the same prior knowledge, with the same fundamental, so we don't differentiate them. One size fits all. Everyone should be able to understand this concept at the end of this class. But then we find out always some students will be kind of lagging behind. Those students are lagging behind if you are not careful, we don't address them, we don't catch them early enough. The result is slowly they will be disconnected, they will be detached, they will be demotivated. they will be discouraged. And then later on, when we talk about student engagement in other webinars later on in the future, they will be part of the class that become a rebel. They would not, when they come to the class, they will become the disruptor, because they feel that they become isolated, because they feel that they are now lagging behind further and further and further away. So I think we have to be careful on that part. I was at that when I learned about that, then I realized, oh, yeah, betul lah. Then I stopped saying that this topic is easy. Itulah that's why I'm sharing also here. Silakan.
Saya boleh share juga tentang reflection daripada topik ni easy kan, because sometimes I used to have that kind of sentences juga, konon-kononnya nak encourage mereka. Tapi saya dapat live feedback daripada student terus. Mereka punya jawapan adalah, untuk madam yelah. That really macam betul-betul saya punya macam wake up call.
Oh, student kata, ayolah untuk prof okey lah, sebab prof dah.
Ya. Mereka jawab begitu. Saya macam kata, okay, topik ni nampak macam susah, tapi sebenarnya senang aja. But then orang cakap, madam yelah, kita orang baru nak belajar. Dan waktu tu saya rasa, oh, yelah, betul lah. That approach might be not the best that I can do.
No, I've done it many times in the past. Tujuan kita, intention kita bagus kan. Kita kata, ini tak susah sebenarnya, senang je topik ni kan. Yang ramai yang fail tu sebab dia orang malas belajar. Itu lagi kita kata macam tu kan. So and I learned that it's not the best way to really motivate the students sebenarnya. Yeah. Well, I cuba cari sumber asal where I came across, but then I learned about that again in a conference or somewhere, when the speaker is actually the expert also lah. Mention about it again. Yeah.
Yeah, does it mean macam sekarang from your experience you tak buat lagi lah? Bukan sekarang lah. Lepas tu you dah tak buat.
Ya, kadang-kadang terlupa juga sebenarnya. Kita kata ni sebenarnya don't worry kan. So tapi bila kita ingat tu, dan kita cuba elakkan lah. Sebab
tapi in my opinion dia tengok keadaan lah. Selalunya kita set this mentality awal. Kita set awal, because student akan masuk dalam in my class tu, dia akan rasa susah. So and then along the way tu, of course lah, kita kena guide lah. My opinion lah kan. I mean, you don't say it every time. You set the mode in the beginning lah, in the beginning of the semester. I think so lah, Prof. Mungkin yalah, memang tak bagus pun.
No, I understand that, because in a way, when we look at another angle, kan, when we say that this topic is easy, we are trying to tell the students it's not a Mount Everest that you want to climb. It's just a Mount Kinabalu, contoh lah kan. Letaklah setinggi Mount Everest. So course ini memang historically failure rate tinggi, but you don't have to be part of that failure rate, kita katakan. So sebenarnya taklah susah sangat course ni, tapi kita katalah itulah masuk nasihat keibuan kat situ tu. Kita ambil lah peluang kan. If you want to be part of that 50% success rate, not the 50% failure rate, this is what you need to do. And along the way, all the way, I will be there to hold your hand. Saya selalu selitkan elemen-elemen macam tu. Kita kata, you are not alone. You are with, katalah dalam kelas tu ada 50. You have 50 students in the class. So, we learn each other. We help each other. We learn together. Because learning happens in a social environment. Although you are a very good student, you are top student in the class, you think you can do, you prefer to learn on your own. But my advice is this: learn together. If you are very good, if you learn very fast, and your friends are struggling, do you just want to leave your strengths struggling? That's not a community. So help your friends. And I'm here all the time. You can reach me on the WhatsApp. You can reach me on the Brighton. You can tweet me. I'm extending my hand now. Take this offer. Let's learn together. Things like that lah, lebih kurang macam tu. Kadang-kadang, bukan kadang-kadang, sebenarnya kita kena ambil peluang itu setiap masa untuk inject this kind of words, motivation, so that they know that we mean what we say. Kalau kita kata you reach me through WhatsApp, so dia orang hantar WhatsApp, seminggu baru kita jawab. Kadang-kadang I kata I will reply within 24 hours or 48 hours. Kalau macam apa ni, macam di USM tu, saya ada berapa puluh WhatsApp group untuk micro credential. So I kata you WhatsApp me anytime. If you have any question, answer, and so I'll try to answer as soon as possible. But sometimes I'm too busy, but I'll try to answer within 24 hours. If I forget to answer more than 24 hours, please alert me. Macam tu. Ya. Tapi of course lah dia akan mengambil masa kita lah. Itulah pengorbanan namanya kan. Tanpa pengorbanan bukanlah perjuangan namanya, kata dalam filem Mat Kilau. So saya rasa kita cukup setakat di Azam ni, cukup sampai di sini. Ada satu tajuk lagu tu, cukup sampai di sini. So kita insyaAllah kita akan sambung dalam siri yang akan datang. Kita buat ni pelan-pelan, slowly, but we really go into it, internalize what we learn, and hopefully we can apply it, in our class. Yeah, it's no point to learn so much, but we don't apply any of what we have learned. Yeah, so learning happens mainly by doing. Okay, so when we do the thing, what we have learned, we'll face problems, we try to address the problem, we learn more. Then we keep on practicing it, keep on improving it, until we feel that we have reached that level where, yeah, this is the formula. Everyone will do things differently. Everyone will do things differently. Everyone will have his own formula. The starting formula is here, then you will come up with your own after some time. So that's over to you, Dr. Zaman. Kalau ada soalan bolehlah kita bincangkan, but that's it for today.
Okay, so thank you, Prof. So before I end this webinar, please fill in the attendance and evaluation form. You can see in chat. Okay, any question? You can ask. We have another 2 minutes only. If you have any question, I also give you the link for the recording in YouTube. So in chat, you can see lah the link.
Dalam Facebook ada ke kita buat direct live? Ada ke?
Dalam YouTube ni lagi senang, Prof. Dia dapat.
Tapi Facebook ada. Facebook ada juga.
Facebook ada, Prof. Ada.
Malam saya post dekat ni, Tuan Haji, Assalamualaikum. Apa ni? Satu, Dr. Zaman, saya nak minta lah semua rakan-rakan kita yang ada dalam ni, kalau yang mana yang ada social media, Facebook dan sebagainya, kita share lah ramai-ramai rakaman-rakaman yang ada dalam YouTube channel TLC, ya. Promotekan ya. Promotekan kepada dalam melalui social media kita. Kita bantu untuk menaikkan nama Unit 10, visibility of Unit 10. Saya buat gitu ya, tapi kalau seorang buat tak cukup. Kita perlu ada concerted effort from everyone. Kita buat secara bersama-sama. So nanti nampaklah, dan mintalah semua sahabat-sahabat kita 400 plus staff Unit 10 ni, subscribe lah kepada Teaching TLC punya YouTube channel tu. Saya nampak berapa entah, tak ingat dah. So bila nampak banyak-banyak itu tu, nampak segan lah kita kan. Unit 10 takkan staff dia ramai tu, takkan staff di sendiri pun tak subscribe kan. Itulah. Kita cari jalan, kita sharekan video-video yang ada dalam TLC tu. Saya nampak ada makin banyak, bagus, alhamdulillah. Kita mainkan peranan kita masing-masing. Walaupun VC tak tahu, TNC tak tahu kita buat benda ni, dekan pun tak tahu, Allah tahu.
Ya, betul.
Haji Rosli betul eh?
Betul.
Rosli mesti sokong tu.
Betul.
Bro, bulan puasa ni.
Nak tanya sikit.
Ya, Tuan Haji, ya silakan.
Apa tadi kita bercakap tentang motivasi pelajar kan?
Ya.
Macam mana nak motivasi diri kita sebagai cikgu ni pula? Ni kadang lebih berat lagi ni. Nak jawab mesej on time, lepas tu marking on time, kemudian beri apa yang semua yang ada, berkongsi semua yang ada, kadang-kadang berat juga kan?
Ini soalan FAQ ni Tuan Haji Rosli. Frequently asked questions yang I get all the time, dan saya pun tak tahu macam mana saya nak jawab sebenarnya.
Yang Prof practice lah, ikut yang Prof practice.
No, because tak tahulah ya, saya almost 30 tahun ya di USM. Tak tahu lah ya, I really enjoy every moment. That's why bila saya nak bersara tahun lepas ya, bila banyak-banyaklah orang jemput kan untuk makan-makan apa semua. Kemudian mintalah saya bagi ucapan sedikit. Kemudian antaranya dia orang kata, macam mana Prof you, antara dalam ucapan tu biasa saya kata, I have only fond memories, sweet memories in USM. I enjoy every moment of my time in USM. So dia orang kata takkanlah Prof apa ni dengan kita punya KPI, dengan kita punya itu ini apa semua ni. Saya kata, so what's your motivation? So saya kata, it is hard to answer that question, but it's something that I think the motivation comes from knowing that the reason why students come to USM because they want, maybe not so much of because they want to learn, probably not so much, but because they want to get a degree. So they have something to achieve in their life, 4 years in USM. So when we look at our program outcome, program educational outcome, PEO, learning outcome for the course that we teach, those outcomes are actually our promise. So bagi orang Muslim, janji perlu ditunaikan, janji perlu ditepati. Dia suatu amanah. So to me that is what drive me to do the best, because saya sangat takut bila memikirkan nanti di the hereafter, hari akhirat nanti saya akan tersangkut sebab dipersoalkan because I have not given my best. So those are perhaps one of the motivation why I doing things with that kind of mindset. I want to give the best. I want to fulfill the promise of the learning outcome that for the course that I'm teaching, the program outcome as a whole. Otherwise, that will be considered as a failure for myself, failure for USM to deliver. So those are the things that I selalu cakaplah kepada rakan-rakan semua. Tapi selain daripada itu sebenarnya is my own inner passion. My inner passion that drives me lah. So that's the intrinsic motivation. Kita tak habis lagi cakap pasal motivation sebenarnya on the aspect of student. But for ourselves also, is the intrinsic motivation that we feel that I am a teacher, I am an educator, and wherever I go, wherever I serve, now I'm at UNITEN, I want to bring the name of UNITEN to the highest level possible. Everyone is an agent of change, the change agent. So I want to be one of them. Minggu lepas saya ada meeting dengan VC TNC dan COO. The first thing when Prof VC dah cakap, dia kata, okay Prof, is your time now. Share whatever that you want to share with us. So the first sentence I remember, I kata, Prof, I've been here for 3 months plus. I've met some people here. I feel very welcome. I talked to some people here. And what I want to say here is I'm now part of UNITEN and I want to make myself useful for UNITEN. I want to create value for UNITEN. I want to make myself of high value to Unit 10. So that's basically my pledge to Unit 10. So I think with that kind of mindset, to answer the motivation yang Tuan Haji Rosli kata tadi, if we put ourselves in that kind of mindset, then I think it will be easy for us. The rest of course adalah cabaran yang perlu kita hadapi as part and parcel, sebahagian daripada tugas kita yang perlu kita harungi, jalani lah. Memang ada banyak cabaran of course. Juggling ball lah dalam saya punya the first sharing webinar yang saya buat when I talk about the second one when I talk about professionalism, kan, remember? That's why saya mulakan dulu dengan tajuk-tajuk seperti itu, professionalism. Kalau kita tak sampai ke tahap yang professionalism itu, yang saya mention juga kepada VC last week, maknanya kita belum lagi capai tahap ciri-ciri yang traits yang saya sebut tu, resilient. Kita belum lagi cukup resilient, mentally especially. Kalau kita punya mentally we are not resilient, maka kita akan sentiasa struggle lah. Day to day itu struggle. Kita belum lagi develop the optimum workflow. Kita belum lagi optimize kita punya 8 jam di office contohnya. Ataupun di rumah kan. Walaupun apa ni, tapi kita work from home. Kita belum lagi optimize, fulfill kita punya 8 jam tu to make it really productive. Jadi when you live on the day to day to struggling, then you feel everything is difficult. Always very challenging kan. Jadi dia akan jadi penat lah. Dia akan jadi penat. Bila penat, kita tak enjoy lah. Alamak, dah habis dah cuti. Long weekend, Sabtu, Ahad, Isnin. Alamak, kalau weekend panjang lagi kan bagus. That kind of feeling tau. Dia tak ada feeling rasa, alamak tak sabar nak tunggu Isnin tu. Dia dah letih lah maksudnya. Okay, itu je lah. In short lah, Tuan Haji Rosli, kalau mungkin perlu, kita akan ada satu topik just on that kan. Kita share lah masing-masing kan. Macam mana kita punya struggle apa semua, dan kita cubalah cari jalan. Bersama-sama kita cari jalan ataupun formula yang terbaik. Masing-masing ada cara masing-masing, saya percaya. Kan? Dan kita tak sama sebab kita ada cabaran yang berbeza. Maka perjalanan kita dekat Unit 10 ni pun berbeza juga. Gitulah.
Okay, so now
terima kasih bro.
Okay, sama-sama.
InsyaAllah.
Now it's 11:37 already.
Mudah-mudahan kita kadang-kadang kan nak berkongsi pun kadang payah kan.
Betul.
So dalam kehidupan itu kadang-kadang apa yang kita miliki milik kita. So nak memberi pun jadi payah. Sehingga kadang-kadang yang berat, kadang juga ada kita lihat ada banyak istilah buy me. Ini berat jugalah. So menyebabkan mungkin salah satu motivasi kita juga menurun juga lah kan.
Untuk itu, saya suka perkataan tu. Dr. Zulman, kita perlu mungkin setiap Jumaat mungkin kita ada sesi tazkirah ke, speaker dah ada. Seriously, I'm not joking. Apa ni, saya di office saya masa di USM, setiap Jumaat kita ada tazkirah. In fact, tazkirah tu kadang-kadang kita jemput orang USM jugalah. Kadang-kadang among us, masing-masing kena bagi tazkirah. Setiap Jumaat. So especially Jumaat hari bulan puasa ni apa lagi kan. So Tuan Haji Rosli tu kita boleh lah minta.
Kita ada doa pagi Prof.
Doa apa? Oh, doa pagi.
Kita ada tiap pagi doa pagi Prof. Tadi saya invite Prof.
Yeah. Okay. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so thank you for all the friends for coming to this webinar. Okay, so next week's webinar, so I hope, so next week kita sambung lagi Prof atau kita buat tajuk lain? Sambung?
Kita sambung lah, kita pergi habis dulu satu buku. Kita khatam satu buku bulan puasa ni macam boleh tak?
Okay, good. Okay, insyaAllah. So next week kita ada lagi. I will, so this is part 3 lah. Part 3 is very interesting. Alright, so with that, kita end this webinar with surah Wa'as dan tasbih sekarang kepada Muslim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, thank you. Bye.